Australia is beefing up its defences by spending more than £400 million on military bases in the north of the country. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has confirmed, in a clear indication of mounting tensions with China. And Mr Morrison also said his country would be teaming up with the United States in expanded war games aimed at ensuring both nations were battle-ready. In an announcement that comes amid an increasingly bitter diplomatic and trade spat with China, Mr Morrison said Australia must expand its military assets in the Northern Territory to be able to respond to unspecified tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. Relations deteriorated sharply last year, after Canberra demanded an international inquiry into the origins of the coronavirus, triggering trade reprisals by Beijing. Mr Morrison said an airstrip in the Northern Territory will be lengthened to support larger aircraft, firing ranges overhauled, and new training facilities developed for both Australia's own defence personnel and US Marines. The military upgrades will get underway this year, and are scheduled to be completed by 2026. The funds come from an Australian defence plan which will see Canberra spend $270 billion in the next decade to improve Canberra's long-range strike capabilities, with the country increasing defence spending by 40% over the course of the next decade. Speaking last year, Mr Morrison said the extra funding was needed as the Asia-Pacific region was experiencing the greatest level of economic and strategic uncertainty since World War II, again, without singling out China. Australia's assertive approach has gone down well in Washington, and Morrison said the new facilities will enhance joint military drills with the US. More than 2,000 US Marines have already traveled to Northern Australia to take part in annual joint training activities. Australia and the United States also hold war games twice a year, with the next due to begin in August. In the past, more than 30,000 troops have taken part in the drills, which happen off Australia's east coast. Michael Goldman, charge d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Canberra, said, "The United States and Australia have been deeply engaged in defence cooperation for over half a century. We will continue to look for additional ways to partner with Australia, as our ally, to advance the security and prosperity of Americans, Australians, and the peoples of the Indo-Pacific region." The announcement comes hard on the heels of a claim by Mike Petsullo, Australia's Home Affairs Department Secretary, that liberal democracies must brace themselves for war. Mr. Petsullo did not offer a specific reason for his remark, but tensions with China, particularly centered on Taiwan, are almost certainly a factor. Speaking on Sunday, Australian Defence Minister Peter Dutton also said a conflict between China and Taiwan should not be discounted. Last week, the Australian government used new powers to block up two deals struck between the state of Victoria and Beijing in accordance with the Belt and Road Outward Investment Initiative. The move prompted an angry reaction from the Chinese embassy in Australia, which branded the move provocative. In a statement, it claimed the decision was bound to bring further damage to bilateral relations, and will only end up hurting itself. It added, "It further shows that the Australian government has no sincerity in improving China-Australia relations."